we're done here. I made the 3 other brackets, but I f***ing goofed up. I specifically made a note to Riley. I said, when we drill these mounting holes into the fuel rail, we have to watch that we don't break through into the injector port. I had it in the vise like this, covered with a rag, so I couldn't even see the injector port. And proceeded to drill a hole right through. That's where you come for the trannies.
Why don't you stand on the roof and try to do it?
Well, that's how you do a external mod only shift kit.
For the fern and the dock, let's go.
Tonight's project is to put the new 4L60 transmission in the car. We've gone ahead and got it up on the jack. We're just plugging everything into it right now. We're gonna jack it up and get all the converter bolts in. And that'll be done. Before we put the
Other than the solenoid, we just got to replace. But we're gonna do it after it's back up.
When we put the shift kit in, we accidentally broke the connector off I think this is the converter lockup solenoid. So we're just waiting on a new one of those, but we can do that after it's in the car. We got the brand new Bosch wideband for the AEM unit, because even though yours seemed to be working fine last year, it would not do a free air calibration. It kept failing.
It failed, so we tried it with this one, got the battery hooked up, and it passed. So we're assuming the oil running through the exhaust must have messed it up or something. But
could have gotten it all contaminated or something. So, and the way we have that all plumbed and wired, it's easier to change it out while the transmission's out. So that's why
there's not a lot of room once the trans is in there. This car, when I got it, it's an 83, but it's like a mix match of a bunch of parts.
It's a Heinz 57.
Yeah, so you got the 85, 86 front end, newer style
quarter windows
and tail lights.
83 spoiler. Yeah.
So because of that, the
body line.
Yeah, it doesn't match up at all. So either this doesn't match up, or if you pull it out, it pops out here. So it doesn't line up. So we're kind of fussing with that, trying to get it right. But we picked up today 2 of the 84, 85, 86 style. Slide these in here. Perfect. Lines up beautifully. We thought maybe we'd have to stretch out the middle of the nose to get these corners to pull in, but that's not the case now that we got the right slats.
So we're gonna leave that one navy blue, and we're gonna leave the other side red.
Yeah, definitely not.
So yeah, we'll have to sand those down and paint them up. Thanks to Jonah, Mr. Jonah, for hooking us up. He's our favorite FoxBody recycling guy. So.
Yeah, got everything we need. One other thing we did is we got the hood figured out, but the hood prop rod, we're having issues with, it was contacting in this area. It was hitting the top of the terminal post, so we just shaved that down a bit.
We were gonna flip the battery around because I think that is the issue.
Yeah.
The factory terminal should be on the inside, but when we wired everything up, I mean, it's not a huge job. We could lengthen one, shorten the other. All we ended up doing was shaving down the negative side of the terminal, and we might make a little bit of relief or sand that down here. It's just barely grazing the hood there still.
And then the other thing we did was the new prop rod. So normally it'll kick out to about
past here, I think.
I think around here it kicks out and then it curves back and gets locked in here. But it was hitting right around here.
Somewhere around there, which is gonna be right where the hood pin comes through anyway, so we wanted to move that.
So what we did is we cut it shorter, added some curves to make it lock in, added a notch, which actually works really good. It doesn't rattle at all. The head pin hole, we just fabbed it to fit that.
Yeah, that'll be our hood prop hole.
Yeah, so
dual purpose hole.
That worked out really well.
Yeah, we're getting there with the hood. Sandblasted his latch. We just need to get that painted up.
We also have to adjust the latch. We have to go lower with it, and It was already at pretty much the lowest point.
Just need to slot these a little lower.
Yeah.
We'll allow the latch a little lower, so just minor stuff to get aftermarket stuff all lined up.
That'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew these Fender aprons bothered Riley all last year. Yeah.
It's coming together.
Okay, let's finish getting this transit. Okay, so we're ready to set the intake on. The transmission went in. Fine as wine. We got these new mall gaskets. And if you remember, Rob said he would just reuse the old ones. So we went to put these on. And what we had to do is these little stops here that set the height. We have to grind material off there to get the gasket to come up where it should be. And left to right, we had to grind, it's this end tab that sets left to right. We had to thin that one out real good. So I'm not really impressed with these gaskets. And also the end clips, they should be bent in a bit like the factory ones. These ones are like this, so they don't even clip on the ends. Which is fine once it's bolted down. So there's just, now there's more end-to-end play when we put it on, so we need to make sure it's centered on the intake. Careful with that. Oh, son of a bitch, this one fell off. Winnebago man.
Fuck off!
Hold on. Does this go above or below? Below?
Below, yeah.
Almost ready to start. Oh, just get some oil.
Yeah, another.
Get the cooling.
Get the headers on, cooling system on. Probably afternoon's worth of work before we fire it up. I'm thinking you need to get some flow data for those injectors.
Yeah. Get that tune ready.
Beautiful Saturday morning here. Riley and I last night we went ahead and dropped the cooling system in and got it all ready. He's pretty anxious to get fired up. And we turned the key, primed the fuel system, and it leaks on that port. So I'm on my way right now to work, and we're gonna sleeve this thing today quick. Kind of sucks. I was hoping it would work, but what are you gonna do? We'll make it right, and then the repair, I'll have better peace of mind that it won't leak down the road anyway. So let's go to work. The first thing I did here, grabbed a piece of aluminum material. We're going to use the wire EDM to make the bushing itself. That's the depth of the bushing that I need to make. And I'm going to get the EDM going while because I don't need to watch it while it's cutting, and then I can go to the mill and open up the rail. What's going to happen here is I just hand drilled a hole for the wire, 10 thousandths wire to get through. So the wire is going to come in the center, and it's going to cut out that center hole to the existing O-ring diameter, and cut the wire, and then it'll go to the outside because I need to leave it attached, otherwise it'll fall out. I'm going to leave a 35 thousandths remnant there, and then right at the end it's going to come back and cut that remnant off just like that. So this is programmed, ready to go. I just have to hit start here, so let's do that. Did the first rough cut here. I just pulled that out. It's going to do 2 more cuts to get it to size and get the surface finish nice, and then it's going to move to the OD. So in the meantime, while that's running, I'm going to dial at this hole here, and we're going to open up that hole for the sleeve to press in. First thing we need to do is just make sure the surface that we're milling is planar to the mill. And if I tram that across that surface, I'm within a thou on the x-axis, on the y-axis, we're within about a half a thou. So good for what we're doing. Next, I'm going to dial in the hole to find our XY center, write a little program, and make some tips. Alright, so we've dialed in. I can't chase it around 360, but using a mirror, we're dialed in here. It's been a half hour or so. The EDM is done with the ID cut. Just check that hole. I've got 3 pins here, 1,000 increment. 5. It should be 555. That's a 554. This is the 555, which is right there. 556 doesn't go, so our size is good on the ID. We'll start cutting the OD now. Using a tool of a known length, we're using a 1/4 inch end mill in this point, and I'm just using a 1/2 inch gauge block here. I've measured that gap. So we've got our X, our Y, and our Z. All it's going to do here is feed into that whole 300 thousandths at 20 inches a minute. It's going to feed over to the radius of the new bushing, which is 197 minus half the diameter of my cutting tool. Sorry, it's 197, which is 0.655 divided by 2, which is the radius of our bushing, and then the radius minus 0.125, which is the diameter of the tool, if that makes any sense. Then it's going to, a G3 command is a circular interpolation, and then it's going to feed back to center and pull out. So nothing fancy with this. But like I say, before I get started, I just want to get that bushing off the EDM, and it should almost be done. 2,000 RPM. I wrap it to a 1/2 inch above, 1/4 inch above. Feed into the hole our 300 thou depth. Feed over. So, get some coolant going. And interpolate our circle. G2, G3 is counterclockwise. It's going to be the same pass, just a little spring cut here, go around. Feed back to center and wrap it out of there, and that's it. So that's our hole. Back at the EDM. Everything's done. You can see it's got that 30 thousandths remnant there, which we're going to cut right now. Without that, obviously, there's nothing holding our work. So we're going to hit start one more time. It'll cut that remnant. Might have to just lightly hand detail the, there might be a little step there where the remnant is, but that's her. All right, so that's done. We'll just pop this out of here. There's our precision cut to within microns, theoretically, fuel rail bushing. So, like I say, you can see that tiny little sliver. We'll just file that down a little bit, and we're ready to push that in. So we'll just measure this here. It was programmed for 655. I don't know if you can see that, but we're 655, 655. 655, so let's press that in the fuel rail. We got her pressed in there. It's nice and level to the top. Diameter's right. Good as new. Let us get the fuck out of here. So we got this fuel rail plugged back in, tightened up. Got the header set on. We're gonna pour some fluids in right away, but let's make sure this rail's fixed. If it's not, find another dad.
Another fuel rail.
Whatever's cheaper. Keys are in the ignition. Put this positive cable on here.
Ready?
What cylinder was it? Number 4.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give it again, yeah. That's just the air purging out of the return.
Sounds better than it did last time.
Looks dry. Oh, I charged the battery up too. You mean the pump sounds more?
Well, last time you could hear it squirting right away.
Oh. Yeah, you're good. Just watch for oil pressure.
So if there's none go off right away?
Well, like
It
after
might take a few seconds.
4 or 5
possibly,
seconds, you
but
should see something.
It should start going up. Yeah, I'll watch for leaks.
And if it decides to like rev up or something, get ready to shut the key off.